Hi there. Welcome to our second podcast. Thank you for subscribing and listening. We truly, truly appreciate it. In this week's episode, we talk about who is the greatest of all time, the Michael Jordan, LeBron James debate. I don't care if you like nature, if you like sports, if you like whatever, we wander our way over there and we talk about basketball because, that is one of the greatest debates to this day and anybody can have it. We also talk about
us being mascots in college, what being the mascot life entailed. We're nature podcast, so we do hit on some nature,
some cool nature.
Yes, we hit on it. We talk about our first time to Glacier, which is super exciting.
Which blows your mind. That's where Quartz Lake was founded, our big and only longtime sponsor, because it's us paying for it, the Quartz Lake. And that's what we like. So if you could please help us out. Help Quartz Lake grow and be something big. Like and rate us on iTunes, Spotify, and
check us out on Anchor. That's where our prize. Please rate our podcast. Give it a review. We are going to be doing a special. We're going to be looking back at these reviews, and we're going to pick our 5 favorite reviews.
What?
5 favorite.
No.
And we are going to try and send out some stickers to these 5 people.
What
and
stickers?
Our top review, our Wandering Ways stickers.
Whoa. We
Wandering
have
Ways podcast stickers.
Wow.
Check
it out.
It's of our album art, the like wispy kind of mountain, kind of Picasso-esque album cover.
Well, and those are real mountains because I traced them of a photo I took. I drew that sticker. With colored pencil. I only had 3 colors. I had yellow, blue, red, and that's what I got. Was that right there?
Yes. So we're gonna be sending them out to our 5 favorite reviews, and honestly, they could be funny. If you have a funny joke as your review, I love puns. So and if it's a really good joke, I will even say it here on the podcast, and I'll give you full credit.
Thank you.
Give you full credit. But please check out and review our podcast. We really need you all to review it. Again, we are on Spotify,
iTunes,
and Anchor. Check us out on Anchor, and check us out on YouTube. We are on the video portion is on YouTube. Again, we really appreciate review, comment, all of that. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, and enjoy listening.
Thank you.
Ready?
Oh. Tink.
Clink.
Clink.
I did it.
Good. How are you? It's another day, another beautiful day in this beautiful world with all these beautiful people.
Facts.
And our 4 listeners at this moment. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
-2.
Our -2, yeah. But
what's up?
I mean, not much, man. Just excited to get another one of these in.
I know, me too. I was thinking about it. There's my brother's high school team. They created a Twitter page. We're talking about negative numbers just there. This comes to mind. They created a Twitter page for their softball team. So they suck at softball. I think they won 2 games last year. Both games I was a part of. I was on the field when they won. But
no brag though.
As a substitute. No. But they have a Twitter account, and he's been doing this kid Seth. He's been doing countdowns forever, like since last summer, since the season was over, like 169 days till the next Dave's Boys game. Because their team's name's the Dave Boys. And so, like with this whole COVID thing, they didn't know what to do, and they did a negative number on Twitter. So like
it's where they was supposed to be.
The opening
That's
day.
That's actually low-key brilliant.
I told him to do it. I was like, Seth, you should do negative numbers.
That's actually pretty funny.
Like, we were supposed to play a game days ago, but
Too bad there's no any old games. You just do updates from those like that happened on that day. You're just like so and so's up to the plate, right? Boom, and that's an out to right field.
Low key though, I think they were the first to do live tweeting from the field.
Oh shit, dude.
That's
Isn't it like slow pitch softball?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, last year I did pull my hamstrings or something, and I couldn't walk for like 2 weeks. But yeah, no.
Well, when you use muscles you haven't used in a long time, they can get hurt.
What muscles?
You still have them. That's how we move.
They're there.
Yeah. They're just hiding.
No, I've always convinced myself, being skinny, I've always convinced myself that my muscles are longer, not bigger.
same size, just as elongated.
I mean, I got long arms. I can do
not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you can reach most top shelves better. You can block a few people.
On a good day.
But your bench press goes down with long arms.
Yeah, dude, I barely lift the bar.
Because you got to go so far.
Yeah, and down and up.
Yeah,
and
like, so much movement. You got those guys with short arms. It's just like bam, 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 bam.
That's why when you go to the gym, it's always short people, and they look like a
wedge. Yeah. That's why Kevin Durant has a horrible bench press.
Yeah.
There's video. It's atrocious.
I thought
you want to see.
I thought you were going to make fun of his like leg workouts, and I was like, well, no wonder he hurt his ankle or knee, or I don't know what he hurt.
Well, I mean, shit, he's all skin and bones.
Hey, man, makes two of us.
Hey, yeah, I mean, he can still shoot. He's still a phenomenal player, but he's skin and bones.
Though that brings up a good debate, and I saw that actually because I was at Thea's house up in Wolf Point with her family last week when we were up there, or this last weekend, and we watched that Michael Jordan documentary. I don't know if you've seen any of that yet.
No, I have heard everyone's been talking about it.
I told them, like, I didn't grow up in the Jordan era. That was kind of like, I was born in '95, so like it wasn't like, yeah, it was there, it was talked about, but I was 3 years old when he won his 6th championship. So I thought it was kind of interesting. But to me, the other thing too, that when I look at like sports documentaries and in general, like especially like that one, it's like we knew this already. A lot of the stuff that's in it, it wasn't like, oh shit, behind the scenes stuff that we're finding out is really cool. That's what I enjoy about it. It's like, oh wow, he was doing like the flu game. It was food poisoning.
Oh yeah.
Like that to me is what's interesting. But it's like, yeah, I know you hit that shot. I knew you 1995. We knew you hit that shot.
But that's what documentaries are, though. Those kind of documentaries are where they talk about those moments and the things that go on that you didn't see. That's what the documentary is.
I don't know. To me, he's a good guy. Jordan to me proves that with hard work, anything is accomplishable. Because let's be real, he is a great basketball player, but athleticism wise, he might not be as well on the baseball field. I mean, we knew that, but all that other thing where you put a LeBron on the football field, he's going to be touching touchdowns.
Yeah, I get your argument, but it's different times.
No,
the only real athlete back then was Bo Jackson.
Gosh, if only, man.
I know, but Bo Jackson might be the greatest athlete ever.
I saw they did, I forget when it was, I think it was before the London Olympics. Michael Phelps, they did like a ranking thing. It was him and Bo Jackson were number 1, number 2 for athletes.
Bo Jackson?
Athlete. I don't know though. Michael Phelps can golf. He can swim. He could probably dunk a basketball.
Bo Jackson, dude. There are like, the way people talk about Bo Jackson is like there's legit myths. Like he's mythical.
I know, but like the hard thing I have with him, like don't get me wrong, with everything's said about Bo Jackson, that guy, unbelievably great. I'm not going to doubt it. His stats from when he played prove it. The injury hurt him, put him in the position he did. But I think the way they talk about him myths wise, it's like, oh man, Matt Leinart at USC, he's going to be the next Tom Brady of the NFL, kind of that similar hype. And these guys, have piss poor careers in the NFL because it's that much harder of a level of, accomplishment. And I think that to me, like, yeah, Bo was proving it in his first few years, but who's to say he would have had 10, 15, 20 years of success,
Oh, I totally believe. You know what? How he got injured?
His hip, right?
Yeah, he was literally so strong and so powerful. When he got grabbed on in that football game, his strength and momentum pulled his hip out.
Yeah.
That's him causing it to himself. It wasn't like your traditional. No, this guy was flat out that strong. He dislocated his hip.
I understand that, but I look at, like, even, let's take let's see who was a good rookie but a shit player after, like, their rookie year, like Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm just kidding. Guy wins the Super Bowl. No,
yeah, after his second year or first year.
No, but I just mean, like, you get some of those guys where it's like their first year they figure you out, and then the second year you come out and it's like, oh, we have all this film on you now and you're not that great. A lot of running backs specifically, like even Zeke, his numbers went down after. I mean, yeah, he had some suspensions in there, but that's that. I mean, that's that argument. I think injuries suck, and our athletic trainers need to do a better job.
He can't stop an injury. But Bo Jackson, greatest athlete, above Michael Phelps.
Above
him.
I
want to see Michael Phelps run.
I bet you he could do pretty good.
I bet he's all right, but I don't think sprinting he's going to be anything worth a damn.
But what does sprinting accomplish? You know what I'm saying?
From point A to point B at a very high speed.
I understand that, but to me, it's like, yeah, you could be a great 100-meter sprinter, but if that's it, if that's all you got in you, that don't mean shit.
Yeah, but that's what makes the athlete, though, is you have to be good at all of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. If you want to talk about, like, a good example of how to separate people that have athletic attributes versus an athlete, if you take track and field, each individual event is an athletic attribute, but it's the, like, decathlon or whatever, the one where
they do,
like, all of that shit.
Yeah,
whoever is the top in that, they're the best athlete because they can do it all.
I get you. I feel you. I agree. I don't have to argue on that one. Well, yeah, that kind of opens her up, right? That opens up the door.
For sure.
As you can tell, I think, our listeners know that, me and you are into sports just a little bit.
I've watched one or two sports
events of competition.
Yeah, currently spend my Sunday watching golf. So
yeah, did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing, man.
Oh, good. I like that they have
the Masters this year. I need to get my golf in.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
And then Sunday's an even better matchup.
Yeah, Brady, Peyton.
Yeah, and then Tiger and Phil.
Who's on whose team?
So it's Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning, and then Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson.
Can they both lose? Like, can both teams lose?
Why?
Tiger
and Peyton are going to win.
Yeah.
They're going to win.
I don't know, though. Brady's got that place up here in Big Sky that he always takes his like offensive lineman golfing in Montana out here.
Yeah, but I think Peyton's been playing a little bit more golf lately. So I think his games can be a little bit more polished. And then Tiger and Phil, honestly, that's going to be a toss-up. Phil won the last head-to-head they did, like in October. But shoot, you can never say no to Tiger. Tiger can come out and just dominate. So
yeah, That's true.
But I think between Tiger and Peyton together, I think they'll take the cake.
Well, I look at Tiger specifically like a real tiger. I look at him like that, and he's this wild, beautiful, magnificent creature, and then the scandal comes out, and it's like, damn, like they threw him in a zoo or circus for a couple years, and he finally got let free back into the wild, and he won those few events, and it was like, wow, he's back, but is he back? And kind of one of those, and that's my interpretation of Tiger being like a tiger,
I mean, he's like 40.
right? Old.
Yeah, Tiger. I mean, but Tiger is old, man. Like, so.
How long does he go?
Oh, honestly, I think he's got maybe 3 good years left. I think he's gonna probably push it to like 5, but realistically, I think he's got like 3 good years left.
You think so? I thought those guys could go till they're like 80.
Yeah, I mean they can, but the younger players, they hit it so far that once you start losing a lot of strength, like you do with age, it's hard to compete with them in the long run. I mean, over a day, maybe 2 days, for sure, but over a 4-day tournament, week after week, that's tough as you get older.
That makes sense. Makes sense. Huh.
The more you know.
The more you know. Brought to you by Mark. No.
Yeah. Woo. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by QLP, or Quartz Lake Productions. Quartz Lake Productions is the main producer of the podcast, Wandering Minds, that you guys are listening to. It's founded by yours truly and Mr. Zach Gray 250. Follow us on the Instagram, Quartz Lake Productions, where we bring our amazing videos and pictures to you, and hopefully many more. That being said, enjoy listening. We're back.
If they heard the commercial. If not, if they paid for like non-commercials, they're going to be like, what, why is there a cut? Why are you guys talking like this?
They just get the swipe.
Confused.
Yeah, they just get the little whoop.
Right?
But if you do get the ads, you get to try and help me pay off my student loans. Because again, I think this could be a real money maker for my student loans.
And you can help me buy more baseball cards.
Hey, spend money to make money.
I mean, or to look at shiny objects. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think earlier we were talking about how Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. I'm the greatest of all time. And that kind of relates into where we're headed with this. Just kidding. No, I think it's good. I think it talks about us, kind of who we are, what brought us together as sports. And,
Originally.
The first time we met, you were trying to recruit me to join a fraternity.
Yeah, back in the frat days.
Good old days.
Yeah.
Really, but ish.
What year was that? 20.
That would have been fall of 2013. Yeah.
Fall of 2013.
Yeah, because
I was the recruitment chair, so I was already there. I was going to my 3rd of like 58 years at Oregon State. Yeah, and that was all just one major. I didn't switch once. No, I did. I switched majors, but no, I was in my 3rd year there, because I was the recruitment chair, and you and
Bowie.
Bowie, Bowie.
That's a big thing.
Because we nicknamed Sam Bowie.
but for security reasons, we'll just call him Bowie.
Yeah, he's Bowie.
But
you guys came over for the Oregon State football game.
Hold up there, cowboy. You're forgetting about the night that you forgot about.
I'm going off my memory. Okay, it's very clear. Going off what I.
Let's just reverse it, back it up. And Bowie was the guy. Me and him, we're dorm friends. We met in the dorms at good old Finley dorm there at Oregon State. Yeehaw! Shout out Kendra Sunderland. No, I'm just kidding. She did live 2 doors down. She did live 2 doors down from me in the dorms and borrowed my rain jacket once. Claim to fame right there. That's how we'll get 10,000 views right there. No, I'm just kidding.
She's retired, I heard.
No, she's got a contract with Brazers.
Oh.
How I know? Don't ask. The Brazers is one of our ads. No, I'm just kidding.
You got to pay for it, though.
Probably Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
No. So we actually, I don't know if you knew this, but the night before, it was a Cal Oregon State game of 2013. So if you really want to find the exact date, it was that Saturday. But that Friday, TKE was throwing a little party, and I had an ex that we hit up, and she's like, we're going to this party at this fraternity. And somehow, I don't know how she got us in. We bypassed the door where you paid to get into the party. We were like, we're with her. Like,
yeah. Classic freshman guy move. No, I'm with her.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she was trying to get us in, and we got in, and we had a great time, man. I think it was really fun because I think for me, it was one of my first true college party experiences, other than like, oh, we're in the dorms having fun together. No, it was like,
yeah,
out of fraternity. Holy shit, this is real. I can stay up till 3.
Yeah, they're nuts.
Yeah, and I just remember, I don't know when I ran into you, but I knew Bowie was in your room, the cap room that you guys decorated with all the bottle caps.
Yeah, that's right. I was living in that room at that time.
Yeah.
With yeah, we had the American flag one. We had the Mario caps, all the crazy ones up on the wall.
Well, what I think is funny too, that same night I took a bunch of shit from the teak house. I took paddles, I took fucking beaver pendants and this and that.
Dude, so much shit would get stolen from that place.
I know. I got a nice jacket stolen. Nice, like one of those like, North Face, but like not puffy, but the like heavy duty hard wall kind of North Face wind resistant ones. It was an Oregon State one. I loved it. That's gone.
Yeah, but to be real, I don't remember you or Bowie. Bowie.
No. No, we came in that night and you're sitting in your room talking. I think you guys had like a hookah going or something in there. I don't know. I just remember like popping in, popping out because I was like, I'm on the dance floor with them girls, man. That was my night. And then I just remember he was sitting in there and we just like hung out, came in, and then Saturday hit, game day hit. At midnight, everyone started chanting game day. And that's how I knew go Beavs. I grew up a Beaver fan, So
game day, win or lose, we still booze. Oldest tradition in OSU.
Yeah, founded by yours truly. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's good. And then we came over for the game and we watched the game. And then I remember while we're watching the game, me and you were sitting there and we talked about we were going to go welcome the team back when they flew back that night. We're like, oh yeah, they'll be back in a few hours. Like, let's go welcome them back. I don't think we ever did, but
I don't think so either.
5 in the morning, yeah.
Did we win the game? I'm assuming if we were going to go welcome them back,
it was Cal. It was against Cal. It was that because we started the year because that was my freshman year. We started the year. We lost to Eastern Washington, and then we won 6 games straight. So we're like 6-1 with that one loss to Eastern Washington at the end of the year, and then we lost 5 straight.
Oh yeah. 6. I remember that year.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I remember that year.
But hey, they went to the Hawaii Bowl, and Oboom, our guy Oboom, he had was it a pass interference or like a holding? He had a holding call on him. And I remember calling him out, like, come on, man. That's why they're going to switch you to defense. Sure enough, next year, man, defensive end.
That got him to the league, so.
He got to the league.
So.
That's another thing. We need to start like a petition to get Oboom back in the league because
Yeah.
he's like athlete, man. He's 100% hard worker athlete. It's not, he was a wide receiver forever. Like, no, put that guy in. But yeah, and then you used your ways of like recruiting just to get us to sign up and join the fraternity.
Yeah, that was my job. Was to just sweet talk people and join in the fraternity. I don't know if I was good at it, but I don't think I was horrible at it.
You know, I went there a couple weeks ago because Tyler got kicked out because they're making the freshmen move out.
Yeah,
So
I got out of the door. You make it sound like it's
yeah,
so much worse. Yeah, he got kicked out. Like, no.
not like me
The
kicked out.
year's like almost done anyway.
Yeah, but we went to move him out, and like I think the Teak House is boarded up now because they ran into the ground,
Yeah.
and that was like part of the whole reason I think both of us kind of left was the way they were running that shit was just
It's it's not a charter at OSU anymore. Oh,
no,
still on the house.
no, there are boards on all the doors.
Yeah, because there were like squatters in there.
Nice.
They still send me the alumni email, even though
Because I signed you up.
you did.
I think when it was
Seriously,
my
your fault.
because we didn't want you to leave.
I still get all of that shit, and I always laugh. I read it.
You never hit unsubscribe.
No, no, I should. Next time, I'm gonna look for it.
No, they're done now. You're done. You don't
They
exist.
were sending stuff about like how they're trying to move forward now that they're not. They're gonna try and recharter there.
I mean, fraternity wise, history, TKE, they were the first fraternity to accept, all ethnicities. Their principles and morals of the foundation, I think, are good in that sense. I don't, the Oregon State chapter specifically, like, I think when you get some bad apples in there, it could ruin it, and I think that's what happened. That's why I had a goal and dream. That's why I ran for vice president when I did my sophomore year, and I did that for about a month, and the president at the time had other thinking, and I didn't agree with it. He was about money, 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 and thinking that would save it. Where having the right people in there would, it's just like any organization, man. You have to have people that love, care, and want to be there. And
Yeah, I get your point. I don't know. It was tough because you need numbers to survive.
exactly. And
But to be fair to the fraternity, I think just Greek life in general at OSU is on a serious decline. So
that makes sense.
I think that fraternity is just collateral damage in a battle that, honestly we didn't want to fight, but we had to. And
No, I agree, and I think I totally get both sides here. I think especially in the Northwest, with how progressive things move up there. Yeah, like fraternities are a way of the past in a sense. Just the brotherhood of it alone is kind of changing. I think part of it is social media creating that change to where a lot of these fuckers go to high school and they're still friends with their high school friends, because Facebook and all that.
yeah.
I mean, that was before too, but I think fraternities created that, like, you don't know anyone at this school. Let's help build that brotherhood. And it still does today. Don't get me wrong. It's a great place to meet people.
For sure.
But with the party aspect of it, the legal aspect, the lawsuits, the living together, that to me is like, that's where it's going awry, and we don't necessarily.
Yeah, unfortunately for that system, it's 85-90% good people, but the 10% that aren't, they're the ones making the most noise. They're making 90% of the noise and they only represent 10%.
No, you're not.
That's the big issue, which is a shame. But
No,
it's also a sign of the times. I don't know if it's fantastic for some people. It wasn't for me, even though I did it. Would I change it? No, I wouldn't change it for a bit.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, obviously that connection led to Quartz Lake. If you think about it,
Dude, that's very true.
wouldn't be here today, which I think that's why it's an important part of the story that we tell. I think, I think the bigger story is it does give you that opportunity, and college as a whole gives you the opportunity to have these connections and meet these people that, you will create lifelong adventures and memories with, Matt Buddy, right? Like,
True, yeah.
I'm gonna take a step back and tell a story about him. This was before Mark, even. This was before our thing, and I was a prospective student, went out there summer before. We were talking about like looking at the different things. My parents went to school there, so they knew about the Native American Center. Well, they updated it, got a Native American Longhouse out there, so we went and toured it. Sure enough, who's working? Matt Buddy. Spent about an hour talking with him. He nice guy, and that was in 2013. It's 2020 right now. 7 years later, that kid's, I bet you I'll get a phone call from him later tonight. And that's just because he's coming over this weekend for Memorial Day weekend, and we're going to go do some stuff. But I get my 1 or 2 calls a day from him, and
So true. Good old buddy.
I think that was good. I think what also is really cool is the fraternity wasn't it for us.
No, in the long run, because, and I think when I joined it, so this was before you, well before you. I didn't even do the traditional rushing method. I just do it over there a few times, and then like one day after the official rush or whatnot, they're like, "Hey man, you should like do this." And I was like, "Well, I don't know." I went back to my dorm, asked my girlfriend at the time. I was like, "What do you think? Should I give it a shot?" She's like, "Yeah, they're cool guys." That's how I got into it. Just kind of like the same way I got out. I just walked in and said deuces.
That's kind of how you recruited me anyway. You just put down the piece of paper and said sign. Okay.
Yeah.
We're in. Joined. It's that easy.
Some people, it's just they just need to see it in front of them and say, "Hey, give it a shot."
I didn't know that's what I was doing, but I was like, sure. Something to do, people to hang out with.
Yeah.
See, I think that was my big motivator at the time. I was in an on again, off again, relationship, not the healthiest relationship. So it was kind of one of those ones that opened the door to like, oh, hey, you can also meet girls here. And that you tell 19, 18-year-old Zach that, it's gonna go crazy.
For sure.
No, but I think
for me it was something to do. It was because I think I still wanted to be crazy. I was young, and I just wanted to get nuts. And sure in hell, I did. But then I hit the point where like I can't get nuts anymore. So that's when I was like, I got to get out.
Yeah. No, I think we'll get into that. I think that's a whole episode for itself, is that 2014 fall, and the end there.
Oh yeah.
The day
that will be a whole lot of shit right there.
and I find it funny, and I think that's going to be just part of our podcast, and part of what people are going to enjoy is how we relate it to sports. Because what moment in the Oregon State football schedule of 2014, what game specifically sticks out to you? Because
dude, the Arizona State game, the late night, they're like on their way to the playoffs, right?
And we
ended up winning. It was a freezing night.
Yeah.
That was when you and I were both doing the marketing intern.
Yeah.
Which that was probably one of the funnest gigs ever.
It was. I love that gig. That to me is where I really kick myself with now as an older person getting into like a professional career where it's like that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was like I could have seen myself doing that as a career. I mean, I'm still kind of in a similar role now, but it's not sports, and I am okay with that. I think it's changed how I watch and view sports.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And the only sport for me it really doesn't change is football on TV, NFL football on TV.
It's TV. I bet it like I don't know, because for me I can't go live anymore.
It's hard.
It's like I don't watch the game, so like when I watch TV sports, that's when I go full fan. I don't try and do any work kind of shit through the TV from watching it on TV. But when I'm at a game, it's like work.
No, I totally get you. I mean, I love like whenever I have the opportunity in front of me, I try and go to as many games as possible just because I enjoy it. It's fun. It's kind of say, oh, I was at that game. I saw Dalvin Cook tear his ACL in person. Like that's cool. I guess I don't know, Dalvin. You almost won me a fantasy football championship once, but okay, shit happens. But he'll call up. He'll call into the Quartz Lake podcast because we'll take Dalvin Cook out to Yellowstone Park. I will. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I would. If there's any
If you're listening, Dalvin, feel free. If you want the tour, just call us up.
Expert. Yeah. We'll wake up early in the morning.
That it was happening doesn't mean we won't do it.
Yeah. Or any other prospective NFL and MLB, NBA player, and
honestly, really anybody. Call us up, hit us up, ask us for a tour. We'll give you the Quartz Lake production tour. You want the tour of Glacier? You want the tour of Yellowstone? Whatever national park you want, we'll give you the tour.
Even if we haven't been there before, like
even
some of the ones we haven't been to, and like we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Believe it or not, it's a fun time.
You tell us what you want. We'll help you guys experience that. You want to do Yellowstone Park in 1 day?
We can get it done.
You want to do it in 2 days? Make it happen. 3? It might be a stretch.
Yeah.
You might be a little bored.
And things happen randomly. We ran in. We were what, like 20 yards from a bear?
20 yards? We were more like 20 planks.
It wasn't far. I know it was far.
There was 2 girls in between us and that bear that we said.
Still to my day, some of my favorites. Getting the video and the girls are just like, what?
Yeah, maybe we can show that right now.
Yeah, I'd have to find it.
If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you're watching it now. You're hearing my voice narrate this thing. So Mark's doing all the editing.
Yeah.
And I'm standing here in my room. I'm talking to him. And he's like, fuck, Zach, you're fucking it up because I'm trying to edit right now. And I'm sitting here like, no, wait for it. Here comes the bear. Look at him. He looks at us and he keeps going.
Yeah. Here, 1 sec. I can get it up. 1 second.
Are you screen sharing?
I will in a second.
Oh, sweet.
We want to see it, right? The bear?
Yeah, I agree. I just didn't know if you want to edit it in later and use my words like I was talking.
No way, man. We'll give it to the people right here so we can get the live commentary.
Let's see. Because I guess you can cut it. Edit it in where we hit like a good stopping point. And
wait, just watch right here. Get the commentary going.
No, what I'm saying. Oh, here we go.
See? So the people can see it. It's right there.
2015. I love how you just have it.
There's the bear. There's
Look at
the bear right there.
Right.
The girls had no idea there was a bear that was going to be walking across.
I don't know. I like the selfie I'm taking right there.
It's a fantastic selfie. You got some great pictures of that.
The best part of that right there, what you're doing, is whenever I show people that selfie that I took,
yeah,
they don't see the bear. They see the 2 girls and like, oh, it looks like you're having fun. And it's like, do you not see the bear in the background? We should have let them keep walking. No, I would have been mean.
Yeah, that would have been real mean. Although, when we watched it coming, we told those two people, the like older couple, I think
Yeah.
it was actually more middle aged. That dude wasted a whole memory card on the bear.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I mean, I've had a lot of bear experiences, which I'm very blessed. I would say. We were, it was funny last year when we went to Yellowstone Park. Me and you, you parted ways at the West Yellowstone exit, kind of on the loop, and exited out. And I would 5-10 minutes after that, because I was right behind you in my car heading out the north exit. Mom and her two cubs right there on the side of the highway.
Hey, that's coming up on a year.
Yeah, that'll be this. I'm starting to get notifications of like stuff in
What's extra crazy about that is it was about a year in early June, and literally the night we showed up to Yellowstone, it snowed.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but we did America's Most Beautiful Drive in the Beartooth Pass that morning.
It was closed the next day.
That night. They
Yeah,
closed it after
because of the snow that happened, they closed it.
Yeah, and we were up there while it was snowing. Like,
I know.
like it was kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of a cool experience. I mean, it's right in my back door. I mean, hopefully it opens up this Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah,
going.
Matt's been talking about it. He really
Well,
wants to see the Beartooth Pass.
I mean, who doesn't?
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good drive.
We saw those guys with the parachutes, and I think it was their snowboards. That was hella cool, seeing those guys out there.
They'll do that. No, I mean, that's where you get some of those crazy skiers. They like going back in those mountains there. You have to have like avalanche packs and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
Yeah, I'm good. Pass.
If I knew how to ski or anything, I'd say, hey, maybe.
Yeah, I broke my leg the second time ever.
Hey, right now it's Mountain 1 Mark 0. So that's the way the scoreboard is. I hope to try and change it, but as of right now, not really looking at it anytime soon.
Well, and I don't know if that's just because like I've gone Red Lodge, which is the little town you drive through to go up the Beartooth Pass. That's the ski resort that I broke my leg at. I don't know if it's because we're on like the east side of the Rockies and it's really windy and cold. Like I never have a good time. It's always fucking windy here, and like I hate the wind, especially in winter when it's like -2. It's like, oh, let's blow 50 miles an hour today. Like yeah.
That would suck for sure.
I'm a warm weather person. Give me a good beach and I'll just relax.
I mean, I like the beach. I do like the beach. Oh, dude, there's some orcas spotted just north of where I live here, like 2-3 days ago.
No way.
Yeah, I was so bummed. I didn't even find out about it for like 24 hours after they sighted them.
They're probably there.
I don't know, because it's kind of rare to see them in this area.
Is it too low? I thought they went up to Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, they do the whole migrating thing, but like typically they don't just like hang out. So I
thought Free Willy was all like in Washington there and like British
Columbia. Free Willy was filmed where I'm from.
Yeah.
But the killers are mostly up in like Seattle, the Puget Sound.
Yeah.
In that
so you don't come down to the warmer waters as much.
Well, when they migrate like south or to warmer waters or north, depending on what they're doing. But
cool.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see them.
Yeah, I like myself a good orca.
Me too.
I got to see Shamu when they were in San Diego, like we were kids, That was before I knew like how cruel it was. Like, like I look at that like that. Yeah, the ocean's his tank. With how many miles they put on. Like, yeah, like I'm glad. Like, yeah, okay, I got fish in a tank down here, but they're little guys.
Yeah. They're whales. They're not extremely super intelligent beings.
No, I don't know. I look at whales, owls, eagles, pretty much a lot of birds of prey. I look at bison for some reason, elephants, some monkeys, and I don't know. To me, I feel like you look at them and it's like they know something. They're like tortoises too. Like they know something.
For
You know?
sure. When it comes to the tortoise, straight up think tortoise, they know a lot, but they're also the kind of people or creatures that they will not tell you. They would just sit there and be like, oh, I know, but I'm not going to say.
No, I totally agree. I look at I have I don't know. I was playing my future sister-in-law and her husband just got a mini Aussie, and I was playing around with that all weekend. A little cute dog, but I don't know. I feel like I have a very good connection to animals, like understanding them, their wants and needs, because I watch them a lot, and I think watching animals is a huge part. Like if, even those, if there's someone right now listening to this, you're sitting in New York City, go to Central Park and just spend an hour watching one squirrel. Like you can learn a lot from animals like that. And I think a lot of people don't do that or don't look at it and take they take it for granted. But I was even when we went to Yellowstone last year and we got really close to those bison. There was one that he was ready to tell us to get away.
Oh, yo, dude, he did tell us to get away. He just
But
made it like looked up and then stepped, and I was like, no.
but it wasn't a aggressive step.
No, that's true. That's
And
true.
I think but it was the understanding of like, hey guys, you're in my way.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand that. And I think that's something, just sit back, watch, observe, let them be them. We're in their world. Really makes me angry sometimes too. Like there's times where it's like, we're destroying their world. Like, yeah, we got to build ours, but there's got to be a way to like coexist. And I think we don't necessarily think of that all the time.
I feel you. I feel you on that one.
Just something to talk about, you know? I mean, I do hunt and fish and do all that too, like I'm not, but
Yeah.
there's a respect. And I don't know if
Well,
that's,
I think you can do those kind of things and still respect, have that kind of same fondness for, um, wildlife and Mother Nature in general. It's just because you know, collect or shoot a elk or something, it's for food, right? It's
yeah,
not, you're not just doing it for a picture. It's not for an Instagram like. That's different.
no,
You're
that's true.
there and using it and you're not overusing it. I think that's totally fine and fair.
Well, that's something to me. I mean, I look at like, being Native American specifically and, the way our government runs and does things, especially, I mean, Yellowstone Park's huge to me for some reason. It always has been. And I love that it is. It's an important part of my life and it's an important place to me, I proposed to Thea in front of Old Faithful, 2 years ago, almost to the day. Tomorrow will be that day, but it's really cool. And I think, I don't know, just the connection we have with animals is something we don't take for granted anymore. And the use of them, and Yellowstone will go off and they'll kill 2,000 bison a year because of overpopulation in the herds, and which makes sense. You can't just overpopulate the park and ruin the grass, let the bees fly away and do this, because that's what happens. You have to manage it properly, and it's like, you gotta get those. If those bison could go to the tribes in this area and the native people, let them do, they use the whole bison. I mean, when my uncle, he's the chairman of Little Shell, when he shot the the when he shot his bison, he took the stomach, he took the intestines, he took the heart. Yeah, I didn't eat any of that food, but he did. He made some good meals out of it and prayed, and we gave tobacco to the land and to the earth, and to the bison, thanking him. But I think the coolest thing about it, and why bison are on my list of like special animals, is he was with some other bison and they came back and they said their goodbyes and they left. They came back to check on their brother, make sure he was dead before they left. So we couldn't go down to the bison. And to me, I think people don't understand that these animals are, they love each other and they appreciate one another, and it's kind of a cool experience to see. And the other thing with bison, just while we're on the topic, these dummies don't understand. And yes, they're dummies. There's tons of videos. Look them up on YouTube. You know,
There's some people getting bucked. They're so funny.
like these guys don't get it. Like I've seen a bison keep up with a car. Yeah, given the car was probably going, 25, 35 miles an hour. But I've also seen a bison jump a barbed wire fence. And I'm not, like a standard 3 foot, 4 foot tall fence. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
nothing. These things are huge and they're just awesome creatures.
The bison, buffalo are pretty cool for sure. But the part where they came back, that's actually the elephants do it too, and it's
Yeah.
really cool to like see that like animals and creatures and whatnot have that kind of connectedness and that they feel.
Well, I mean, this is a huge, deep conversation we could go down. And part of that being like, we're animals too, in reality. And how much different are we? And if you really want to think about that, you really want to think about like how, like, yeah, I feel sad if my grandma died. I'm going to go say my goodbyes, like at my dog. I take my dog. We had our older dog pass away this last year. We had to put her down. She had cancer, and he won't go out in the backyard anymore.
Huh.
You tell me he didn't have a connectedness to her, because you'd go out fine when she was there.
Yeah, huh? Weird.
Just
Interesting.
sad.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's cool at the same time.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I mean, that's just, I mean, we've done a lot of adventures together too. I mean, it's crazy. Like, this is 2020 and it's been about 5 years of adventures.
Yeah, it has.
And counting.
And counting, hopefully for many, many more.
Right? Exactly.
Our adventures, they didn't just start 5 years ago with, what a Yellowstone and all that. We were doing stuff with the marketing and then being mascots, being for Oregon State, being Benny the Beaver.
I think that was really something that I never knew was possible until I was there. And once I realized it was possible, I didn't let it go.
It was, I mean, even for me, like how the whole reason I did it or did the sports marketing in general, because I saw they had the application and I was just like, oh, I wonder if this is how you become the mascot. I applied. Then I got the marketing part that wasn't Benny, but it was kind of connected. They needed someone to do a parade, and then they were like, anybody want to be Benny? And I was like, oh, my guy, right here. And I did that parade, and that's how that started.
And I think I look at it too, Benny, and this is advice for anyone who wants to go into college mascotting or mascotting in general. I think go and figure out how it's run. I think that's the confusion, because I've met a lot of different mascots over the years, and different colleges and universities, and the process it takes. Some of, like, the duck has tryouts and actual, like, you have to be able to do push-ups if you want to be the duck. I mean, given he's not doing push-ups, he's doing
But
still apps, but you got to be able to do that in a suit for hours. And that one's run specifically through the cheerleading program.
Yeah.
So there's that connectedness. Monty at the University of Montana is his own department, because he is, he's won mascot of the year twice. He's got to be able, you have to have X amount of years gymnastics experience. You have to be able to do like double handspring, back handsprings, stuff like that, And Benny, you just got to walk into the sports marketing office and say, hey, I was told this is who runs it, and I'm really interested. Oh yeah, we're actually looking for more people to do that. And that's how it got started for me.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, they have tryouts, but I heard they never get very many people that do it. But I think it's ran differently now than it was when like we started. Well, like it was starting to get better by the time I left.
I think it kind of has gone. I can't speak for it now because I have no connection into the program. But I think I think back in the day it used to be run through cheer, and then it got put on sports marketing. And I think that's kind of when we were there. It was when it was like a few years into that where they're just like, yeah, it's just like this thing, and we have Google Docs and whatnot. And
Yeah.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I loved it. It was by far the best gig ever.
You know, I got to give a shout out to Josue Morales. You know him,
The homie.
great guy. I met him in marketing club. I was a freshman in marketing club. He was a junior, senior, and he's the one that said, no, go, you got to talk to McCall. And he put me in connections with the right people to ask the questions and say, I want to do this. And I don't know about you, but for me, I had to shadow a guy. We shadowed him at a women's basketball game. I had to do a wrestling match as Benny. Killed it. People loved me. Because they said Benny just shows up, he does a lap and goes away. Like that's how wrestling was. No, I stayed there the whole time. I was wrestling around with people, just having a good time. And I think that's what made them say like, yeah, keep coming back. And then, Wayne Tinkle's first year, I went hard and I signed up for every men's basketball game because I was like, Tinkle's from Montana. This is my thing. This is my jam. I'm going to make Benny at basketball games be legit, and people are going to want to see Benny at basketball games. And that was my goal. And then I got in trouble at the end of it all, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
That's episode 26 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a different path than me for the mascotting. Because, I mean, just like how I got started, they were like, oh, we need someone to be Benny. And then it just turned into, we need someone to be Benny. I was like, I'll do it. And then it just kind of building and building and building until I was doing, I think one year I did like all the women's basketball games and a ton of baseball. And then from there, I started doing less towards the end because I got more busy. But I started doing more of the traveling stuff, which some of those gigs were the best. That's how I got into the Nike employee store.
Yeah.
Me to do the like Oregon Sports Awards. And I was like, I'll do it. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. Here, go to the employee store right before. And I was like, oh, yes.
I was one, my dad's weekend came up. And they had like an Oregon State alumni event at the Nike employee store. Like Oregon State alumni could come.
Yeah.
And not free stuff, but stuff. And Benny was there. And I was stamping people at the door with stamps all up their arms. I got some cool swag. Like Nike gave me some, or I would buy it, but I like stuff like legit prices. And I was in people's shopping carts. Such a fun little.
You could just goof off. It was the best.
You could find yourself in any situation anywhere you want because all you had to do is play dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see.
Yep.
I walked we were at the Pac-12 basketball tournament in Las Vegas. I walked into the media room. And media rooms are like, they're all right. They're more like, here's some food, here places for you to sit with your computer, write up, whatever, right? Like that's kind of what media rooms are. But they had just buffet of food. So I got a plate. And I'm sitting there as Benny. I'm filling this plate up. Just, like, oh, cake? Sure. Oh, vegetables? Sure. Fruit? Sure. Loaded it up. And the best part is I took it out the door, walked into the room, like next door was the cheer room where we were all getting ready with all the other cheer teams and like whatnot. And the cheer coach that Oregon State had at the time, she's very serious, took her job serious, produced some of the best cheerleaders I've ever seen, on the floor, doing routines and tricks, so given to her, but had these guys on like strict like health diets and this like that. Like, no, we want you need to be able to do a flip and do this, and you need to go on your runs and work out. But here I am, the mascot, because we're not associated with cheerleading. And I just had all this food and all the cheerleaders like, why, where did you get that? We have a bag of bananas over here. No, I had a whole plate. It was fun.
Yeah. I loved it. You just get away with so much stuff.
Yeah. Anything you want.
My favorite too is messing with the people because they're always like people that know you're not a real whatever. So they'll be just like, so where do you see out of? And you always point to their eyes, and they're just like, no. Like, where do you see? You like look at them and like, my fucking eyes. Like I don't get what's wrong. I don't. Where else would I see?
But like at the same time too, right? Like the mascot head,
Yeah,
look up Benny the Beaver right now on your computer. Benny the Beaver. You'll see the head.
his eyes
Big
are.
nose, right about where a head level should be.
Yeah. What it was weird. It was roughly about right there.
That was kind of down.
Yeah,
Just like hair down.
that
Yeah.
vision was horrible.
Because you would have to look up to like
Yeah,
see.
you were always like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Then they got a new head, which the vision got a little bit bigger.
But blurrier.
No, it was actually the head we had at the very end of my time. That was a really nice head. Not the big one, not the big one. They had another one after that was way smaller. It's the ones they use now.
Oh, the one that we used, there was one that had plastic in it.
Don't go for the plastic.
There was one that didn't have plastic, and that one had the flat nose. That was the
That was the one.
That was the one that's like, I would keep it overnight if I had like other events coming up, just so no one else would take it.
Oh, I mean, I kept suits all the time.
Yeah, I know. That's another story. Mascotting at night. My mark. I think it was good. There's a lot of good stories. I mean, I could talk about mascotting for hours.
Oh, I know. Mascotting was the best. Threw out the first pitch for the baseball game once.
No.
That was fun. Thought I was like walking out there with the ball. I was like, oh, because I'm a mascot, I'm going to over exaggerate this, right? Well, again, vision's like right here. And when you do a big wind up, right? So I took my vision and I hit lost where the guy was.
Oh.
So when I went to I just guessed. I was like, oh shit, go. Luckily, he only had to like go over like a little bit to catch it.
I mean, you're athletic enough to understand home plate is that way.
I know. I didn't like 50 cent it or anything.
Yeah.
So.
Anything you dug out?
Yeah.
Just you're up there, you just throw it sideways. Just off.
Yeah, just.
Oh, my bad. Throw it backwards. I mean, though, like thinking about that, that's how you get on SportsCenter. Oh, here's what Benny the Beaver did today. Just like, oh, we should have been. Oh man, I was like super excited because I was like going down a path. I honestly thought I was going to try and be a professional mascot at one point. That was a legitimate goal of mine.
Hey man, I mean, it's not a bad gig. I'm going to say that right now.
No, and if you know what you're doing, and I think that's what like the side of me, the marketing side of me comes in of like, how can I make this better? How can I make people want Benny? Like I was even like looking into like, how can we create a universal Benny signature that all the mascots, where the Y became a beaver tail.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that's Ben, to brand it. Because the Ducks, all props to them. The way they've branded the duck has just been, that thing's an icon now for them forever because of how they did it. And I will argue none of that has to deal with Nike.
Directly, no. You're right.
Like how the duck became the duck.
Because the football team. If you notice, when the football team in those early Chip Kelly years, when they started taking off, the duck.
But how they used it, driving him out on a Harley before the games, doing the push-ups, doing because, and then Nike, they bought in and said we're going to do some jerseys that have that.
That's what I mean. Directly, no, right? Indirectly, the success they had with the football, all because Nike gave them a bunch of money, and they got better players, and they got a good coach, and they played well, rightfully deserved. But Nike still gave them all that. So screw the Ducks. Regardless of that, as soon as the football team started going up, then people saw the duck. And then what the people did in that department when they started getting some fame was really good.
No, I think that's that those are the true people that I think, yeah, because of how they, I also look at it too, though, with like, you look at like the AT&T commercials, the Intuit TurboTax, whatever, all those that happen, with college mascots, they said, yes, put him forward, like, look at all those. And yeah, Oregon has created a brand name for themselves that, rivals like a Texas or a North Carolina. They've put their name up high enough to where it has become like, you say Oregon, the first thing people think of is the Ducks. That's one of the first things that people think of, because they branded themselves that way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is, and I will argue, though, if Oregon State wins that Civil War in 08 and we go to the Rose Bowl, I think it's a whole different story.
Gosh, I sure like to hope so.
Right? We can't anymore unless we go back and change time.
Yeah. Because while the oldest and truest tradition at OSU is win or lose, we still booze, the number one thing said at Oregon State every year, oh man, can't wait for next year.
Right? Can't wait for baseball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. Oh, that grinds my gears. Thank you, Peter Griffin. No, I'm in this like Facebook group, and this started like when I was going to school at Oregon State. Like, this lady messaged me on Facebook like, hey, I'm creating a Facebook group called the Pac-12 Fight Club, where we're getting like people from every university in the Pac-12 to join this group and share scores, talk trash, kind of. And I was like, oh yeah, like, I'm on board. I'm still in it to this day. There's this Beaver fan, Dave, I don't like, because he just misrepresents Beaver fans, like just making ridiculous like comments and unrealistic claims. And you're just like, dude, like, have a reality check at some point in that. Like, but one of the biggest arguments on there is, what are the top 3 college sports?
It'd be football, basketball, baseball.
Right?
Yeah.
And my argument for that is, I take like your Power 5 conferences, right? SEC, ACC,
Yeah.
10, Big 12, yeah. If all of your teams participate in that sport, yes, it's a competitive, but like, there's these Arizona State fans that think the fucking Sun Devils, like, hockey is a top 3 college sport. And I'm like, there's like 12 teams.
Yeah.
Of course you're ranked in the top 10. There's 12 teams.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Well, it's like, yeah, because Oregon has tumbling, and they brag about their tumbling team being like a top like 15 in the country every year. Well, shoot, there's 12 teams in the whole country that have tumbling. So if you're top,
yeah,
you're top 15 automatically.
Well, and you really want to get this debate, you really want to piss off some Oregon fans.
Although, have you ever watched tumbling? It's incredible.
Oh, it's cool. Don't get me wrong.
It's bullshit.
But what's the last like power 3? And when I talk about your top 3s, you bring women's basketball in it to it too. We can bring women's, because that, to me, basketball as a whole, men and women are, in my mind, viewed as equal. So when we talk about the top 3 sports, I look at men and women's basketball as like the same sport. Like, you would argue the UConn success the same way you'd argue the men's Duke success. Kind of in that sense.
Okay.
But what I really hate is, when's the last time Oregon won a national championship in a top sport? I argue that track and field, if you took track and field out, it goes back to your 1932 men's basketball championship, or 22, whatever the fuck that was. And like, it was the Webfoots. It wasn't even the University of Oregon.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I
know I'm with you there. When it comes to track and field, though, like, that's the one thing I'll always give Oregon. But that's literally the only thing. Everything else, they suck and I hate them.
Well, and that new complex they're building out there, beautiful complex.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
But that's for Olympians, you know. Yeah, if you want to be an Olympian, go to the University of Oregon, learn to run. You know, there's nothing wrong about it, nothing against that. I think that's the place to do it. But I also argue that not every team in the Pac-12 has a men's track team.
No, they don't. Well, Oregon State doesn't.
That's exactly my point. So it's like, it's hard to make that argument. Oh, of course you're going to dominate in track. We don't have a track team.
Oh, yeah. I see where like that. Yeah.
Like, you know, why are you going to use that national championship as argument? And I think the other thing, to me, track is such an individual sport. You know, like the relay, it's those 4 guys. The 100 meters, it's that guy. You know, yeah, there's a team aspect to it, but track to me is like, if you want to be the fastest, you need to train with the fastest. You need to be running side by side with the guy who's going to push you. You know, and I think a place like the University of Oregon does give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. And anytime we get to rat on the Ducks, I'm okay with it too. So
No, exactly. You know, and I think that's the thing. Oh man, I can open up this can of worms if you really want, because
I think it's absolutely dumb you're on that Facebook group anyway. But
I gotta leave it. I gotta unfollow it. But the problem is there are the people that post like oh sweet, like those are Arizona State's uniforms this weekend, or oh, like, did you hear, like,
it's not worth all the other bullshit though.
it's not. It really is
There's
not.
other ways to get it.
Yeah, but I gotta find those ways.
Called Twitter, man.
I know, but it's just easy right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just easy. But I don't know. The other thing I was gonna say is, how many diehard Duck fans actually have a University of Oregon diploma in their house?
Not very many.
No.
There are a few.
Like, especially when you do that drive. I mean, I do it quite a bit from like Portland to Salem, just because that's where, like, we have family down in Salem, and you always see these just trashy cars with these like, who puts your stickers on? Like, who's like, yeah, like, let's just put like 30 Oregon Duck stickers on my car, but in the most random spots that doesn't look good. It looks trashy. And let's be real, you probably didn't go to school there.
No. Very few ever do.
No, like, even in that group.
It's
like,
just trendy. It's
trendy. Yeah.
And they do a good job at it.
No, I'm not. That, you know, as someone who works in marketing, advertising myself, yeah, go for it. Like, yeah. Great on you. But I hate. Because a lot of the guys that are just those, like, I'm a Duck, I'm going to argue it, and I want to fight and get mad. And then it's like, where'd you go to school? Oh, Chemeketa Community College. So you didn't even go to the Ducks. You just jumped on a bandwagon. Like, arguably 90% of those people, if the Beavers were winning in 2008, if they would have won and gone to the Rose Bowl that year and kept winning,
it's trendy.
Beaver fans. No, it's ridiculous. Yeah, that's kind of where we met. I think we both have that same hatred for the University of Oregon. I mean, it's not a hatred like, oh.
It's a dislike. I respect them, but I also hate their guts.
Yeah.
So.
Go Beavs, right? Like, go Beavs, right?
Yeah, go Beavs. Always go Beavs.
Like,
if you were to tell me every year, right, doesn't matter who's gonna win. Who do I think is going to win the Civil War? I will always say the Beavers. Every time, hands down. But I understand that there are some years where it doesn't seem as likely that that's going to happen.
No, I'm right there with you. I totally agree, because there are a lot of, like, those moments where you're just like, yeah, I'm always going to choose the Beavers first. And, like, I know you more so than you won't root for the Ducks outside, even if they're playing Duke, Kansas City.
Yeah, I can't.
Like, I can get on board of the Pac-12, but it's strictly a Pac-12 kind of, you know, like, it's weird. It's a weird, like, because when, like, they played in the national championship against Ohio State and Auburn those last few years, right? The last 2 times they went there. Yeah, I wanted Ohio State and Auburn to win. But when they were playing TCU in the Las Vegas Bowl and they were winning that game, it's like, I want us to do good bowl record wise. I don't care who the fuck you play in a bowl game. But when
Yeah,
you
I
know,
understand that argument, but I can't do it.
and that's fine. I get why. I used to be that way.
Yeah,
But then I kind of built that, like, if the Pac-12, like, I really hate the SEC.
I do too.
So anytime the Pac-12 can go up against the SEC and prove them, like, no, we're better than you, then I root for the Pac-12. Like, if Oregon was playing Alabama in the national championship, or LSU or one of those teams, I 100% Oregon all the way.
If that happened, I'd root for both teams to lose. I just wanted to like a 0-0 draw.
Yeah. And well, there's 10 guys left eligible on each team. They both forfeit.
Yeah.
No, I think that kind of just sums up who we
That
are.
sums up Oregon State for sure.
Yeah, and like how we got there.
Mm-hmm.
And our feeling. It doesn't sum it up. It just gives.
It gives you a taste. It gives you a taste, just a dabble.
There's some stories that they'll come out here and there, and we'll have they had the wrong Zach. That's
a fantastic one. There will be for sure.
The time I was rape kissed.
Yeah.
People don't believe me. Like, they say, why would you make that claim? And it's like, I didn't want it, and I didn't know what was happening, and I was on my phone. Like, I was on my phone, and it just happened.
For sure.
We'll get into that. We'll get into those details.
We will. But anyways,
in episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2's in the book. Wrapping it up. Any final words you want to give to the people, my guy?
Me?
Any final words?
Self?
Yeah. You to the people.
People, if you're listening right now or not listening, a tree does make a noise if it falls in the forest. No one's around to hear it. And that's all I have.
Good stuff. Anyways, thank you to the twos of people out there listening, if you are. Hope you stay beautiful. Go out, enjoy some sun. You guys are all beautiful. Make sure to follow us on the Instagram, Quartz Productions. Other than that, peace out, peeps.
Bye.